everybody doing today? What's up, people? Alright, that's enough of that. I've got some pictures here. Who wants a picture? Who wants a picture? They're not signed because that would be illegal, you know, if we're at a convention, so they won't. But you can at least say I actually do it.
Yeah, okay. You did not bring the aerodynamic photos, did you? They did not fly well through the air.
You watch. It kind of worked. That was lots of fun. I'll do that again, never.
They've got some good air on that.
You know, it's the good, the bad, and the overly used, non-existent microphone.
Yeah, the middle mic.
Can't stand that middle mic. I like the tall mic, the small mic, the old mic.
There's multi-mics.
All the mics are good, but not that middle mic.
Bad mic.
Stay away from that mic. It's a bad mic.
It's a bad mic.
Anyway, how's everybody doing? Are we having a party here this weekend or what? And you know, it's Wizard World again. I do not see one wizard in the audience.
Well, they're undercover wizards. Well, there's one right there. Look, she is a wizard.
Where?
Stand up, wizard. See.
Oh, I see.
She brought her wand.
The Harry Potter variety.
Yeah, they're wizards.
Oh, look, there's some more wizards over
Another
there.
wizards. There you go. See.
And what about the lizards? Because first I thought it was Lizard World, but then I realized no, in fact, there's no lizards here, so.
Well, they might be
impressive.
reptilians. They're just posing.
That is true. There's more
Watch
than likely many reptilians around damn here parts.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna say about that.
Just gotta watch the eyes. Let's go ahead and take a question from this gentleman with the Atari T-shirt, which I really like. Hey, how are you, man?
Good. Hi.
Hi.
Howdy, partner.
I saw the Goonies when I was like 7, and it was really good.
Thanks.
So, besides Mouth, who's your favorite Goonie?
Well, that's a tough one now. You're gonna make me throw all the rest of my friends into the bus, is basically what you're doing.
Thanks a lot, man. What's your name?
Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, all the guys will really be happy about that one. No, I'm just joking. Well, you know, as a Goonie, we're all like a band of brothers and sisters. So we're like one unit, you know. I don't think I could really pick favorites. But I will say, Mikey is a great guy, and I spend more time with him than probably any other Goonie. How's that?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Do you accept that? Yeah, obviously there's a lot of talk about the sequel, it's happening,
What?
it's long development. Yeah, a lot of people talk about it. I'm not going to ask you whether or not it's happening, but I'm going to ask.
You wouldn't do that, right? I'm not that kind of guy.
I would not ask that, but what I would ask is, in a fantasy scenario, if you could have Mouth 30 years on, what would you have him doing if you were to write the Clark storyline?
You know, ironic you should say such a thing, because, you know, as they are in development for a possible Goonies sequel, development is happening. There are meetings taking place. Director Richard Donner and Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus have all gotten together and they are plotting, but that's as far as it's gone so far. All right, that's all we've got so far. I'm just going to be honest with you. But during that process, there was a point where another Groody friend of mine and I got together and we wrote some ideas ourselves. And in that scenario, I believe we had, and again, this was directly related to the scenario that we wrote, which is not what we're using for the film, by the way. Just let you know, I'm not going to be the writer, as far as I know at this point. But in that scenario, we had, I believe, made him a senator.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, you know, we started with lawyer, right? Because like that was actually an idea that had been going around for a long time. That, like, wouldn't it be great? You know, obviously Mouse should be a lawyer because, well, self-explanatory. But then Chunk actually became a lawyer, so they were like, okay, now what do we do? That's kind of weird. So I think that I think being in politics at all, probably, you know, in that field makes sense to me. So, you know, that's kind of the direction I went with it, but that doesn't mean that's where the boys are gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and this idea of in development, I mean, that's such like a big term as far
Yes.
as how long that could take.
It's kind of like global warming.
Yeah.
If you can't see it, does that mean it really exists? Come on, guys. Is it really? Yeah, it does. Oh, shoot. But we used to get away with that 10 years ago, remember? before Al Gore had to go and make that damn movie, we could all live blissfully in ignorance. Like, what do you mean there's an ozone layer? Wait, we don't even believe it. Can you see it? No. Okay, then.
You ruined it for all of us.
But
Thanks a
anyway,
lot.
it's the same kind of basic premise. You know, consider Goonies global warming, and just because you can't see it being made doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Now, maybe one day you will see it, but not yet. You're gonna have to be patient. Right now, there's a little bit more interesting things happening in the world of Goonie, which is that it is a very important anniversary coming up.
That's right.
That's right, the 30th anniversary this coming year, and I'm sure there's going to be a few special surprises in store for all the Goonie fans.
Thank you, ma'am, for helping the young lady with the microphone.
Very sweet of you.
Hi there. What's your name?
Brody.
Hey, Brody.
Did you say Brody?
Try.
Did you see Jaws? All right.
Didn't see. One day you
Moving
will.
on, moving on.
And that question will make a lot of sense when you do.
Right.
But you have other things on your mind right now, Brody.
And I'd like to hear what they are.
Yeah.
Was it more fun making Stand By Me or the Lost Boys?
That's a good
Now,
question.
those are both rated R films. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that your mom put you up to asking that question.
My dad did.
Thank you for your honesty. Ding, 1 point for the child.
How old are you, Brody? 8. Okay. So a little bit underneath that age restriction, 17, but that's okay.
All good. So did you see either of those movies?
I saw Stand By Me.
What did you think?
I liked it.
I know, but those guys have such dirty mouths, don't they? They just need to wash them out with soap. No bueno. Boy, that's a tough call, but I'm gonna have to go with Stand By Me on that one. Lost Boys is definitely more fun to watch. Okay, but look, the obvious, bonus or upside was, working again with my great dear friend Richard Donner, who was the director of Goonies, and also directed me Maverick, and possibly a Goonies sequel. He also produced the Tales from the Crypt series and the Tales from the Crypt movie, so like him and I have done a lot of stuff together, and he's a great man and like a father to me, so I always enjoy working with him. Outside of that, I did of course get to meet Corey Haim on that film, and we became lifelong friends as a result of it. And Jameson Newlander and I have also become lifelong friends as a result of me keeping him working by putting him in the sequels to Lost Boys. When you want to be my friend too? Come on. Anyway, so there was a lot of friendships that were developed on that film, but at the same time, it was not fun per se. It was a lot of work. It was very stressful, and I was going through a lot of adult issues at that time, even though I was just a kid, but I was going through adult issues. So it was read the book. Choreography, it's out there. Maybe a few years from now you can read the book. But in the meantime, I got some good news for you. You like Ninja Turtles? Yeah, I thought you would. So we have a show on. Did you know this? Do you ever watch Nickelodeon?
Yes.
Do you ever watch the Ninja Turtle show on Nickelodeon?
Yes.
But did you know that Sean Astin, who plays Mikey in the Goonies, is Raphael?
Didn't know that.
See, I got you, didn't I? And did you know that I am Slash? Yeah, that's right. So, two Goonies are actually already working together on the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show on Nickelodeon. So you can see a Goonie reunion right there. Or, I got one better for you. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can check out my video for my new album, which is called, the album's called The Jones of the Court. It's not out yet, but the first single is called Ascension Millennium, and there's a little on-screen Goonie reunion with me and Sean Astin in that video. So go home now after you're done today and check out Ascension Millennium on YouTube. So there's 2 Goonie reunions right there. Boom!
Boom. Thank you, Brody. Everything seems like it's full circle. I mean,
Yeah, it always goes back to Goonies.
well, Goonies, but also, I mean, Ninja Turtles, man. Like, doing live action movies and then now being in the
Definitely a
animated
part of
series.
my lure.
Lure.
Not
Lure and lore.
Well, both. A little lure for the lure.
The lure for the lure.
And then the lower guys, well, those are the ones down there.
The lower
guys. The lower guys don't believe in the lure so much because they get lured to it all the time.
And there you go.
Right.
Is it ever surreal though, going back to these
It's real life, yes, I saw it.
Here's your Coke.
Oh my God, I thought it was earthquake. I was like, you guys don't get earthquakes here, do you? Oh no, tornado!
They actually do get earthquakes in Oklahoma though.
You do? Really?
Somebody was telling me last night that there are more earthquakes in Oklahoma than in California this past year. Is that correct?
Wow.
Yeah?
Scary.
Well, thank you.
Have you ever had an earthquake and a tornado at the same time? Now that's going to be a party. Who's going
Yeah. So, this is a very structured, stable structure.
Let's
So I
hope
think
so.
we're fine. So, yeah. Hi.
Hi. Being a child of the 80s, I watched movies like Goonies and Lost Boys and get lost in the fantasy of them. But being someone who was in those films and filmed it, how does that jade you when you see other movies that we who never saw behind the scenes or lived making those kind of films? You know, I was a kid and I played a Goonie. I pretended to be a Goonie. You as a kid made those movies. When you saw other movies like that, did it jade you towards it?
Well, no, but see, when I was a kid making Goonies, I was pretending to be in like Wizard of Oz or like Willy Wonka or, you know, all those movies, and like Star Wars, of course, right? I'm still hoping I get cast in the new Star Wars movie, and then they've already finished production. It's obviously not gonna happen because I'm not in it, but...
There's a couple more episodes coming, we know that.
Well, that's the Klingon over there. Klingon!
That's like casual.
What are the chances that I'm gonna be in the next Star Wars film? What are the Klingons? Yeah.
Now, I have to take a meeting with JJ.
Right.
And we take care of the problem.
Okay, so could you get on that for me? I know you could probably call the Klingon Senate and make something happen.
I'll take care of it right now.
It's called the War of the Worlds, right?
The Agent Klingon.
I hear there's vampires in this new one.
Oh, Jesus. Let's hope not.
A Klingon agent, as if agents need more blood.
Right, but you know, the problem, yeah, have you ever heard of the thing about Hollywood agents? They're too damn clingy on. They're too damn clinging on. All right, moving on.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I went almost there, but then not all the way, you know. It was, yeah. Go ahead. Hi, lady. Hi, how are you? Hi.
I'm sorry, I'm like super nervous. Can I ask you a question?
No, we were just having a little personal time. Would you like to come back in 10 minutes? No, I'm joking. We'll do
I
this.
was just going to ask you, would you rather be doing music or acting?
Well, thank God I don't ever have to make that choice. You know, that has been a lifelong thing. Don't you just hate it when people try to put you in a box? Don't you just hate it when people say, this is what you're going to do, or this is who you are, or this is, you know, like they've got your plan, or they know better than you. I've got news for you. If you have a dream, if you believe in something, just do it. Don't care, don't listen to what anybody's damn advice is, because you know what? Their advice is not going to pay your bills. All right? You know what's best for you. Unless, of course, you're like, you know, a drug addict or an alcoholic, or you have a gambling problem, or you're an overeater, or you smoke too much, or, you know, all the other problems you might have that would make people have to say, stop doing that! But aside from, you know, some compulsive disorder, yes, make your own decisions, live your life, and dream your dreams, and don't be afraid to dream big, because the bigger you dream, you can visualize those dreams, and you can make them your reality. That's the mark of my life.
All right. Hi there.
Hey, my question was, you've done a lot of different genres of movies over your career. You know, you have a lot of horror,
paltry, my little grebe. So which
Good,
do you prefer?
good stuff.
Very good.
The best.
That's right.
Dynamical. All right, something like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, which genre do you prefer?
You know, again, much like, you know, do I want to be a music person? Do I want to be a film person? Do I want to be a TV star? Do I want to be a theater actor? Do I want to be, you know, whatever? It's all the same, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, a good script is a good script. So if it's something that moves me and motivates me and it, you know, is a chance for me to create art, then I will jump on that. But, you know, really the way this business works, I'll be very honest with you, is that, you know, you're going to get 5 offers, okay? Let's say this way, you get 5 offers. One of them is going to be for like, you know, the greatest thing you've ever seen, like the most brilliant material, it's just great, it's everything you ever wanted to do, but it's like 1 day's worth of work. And you're like, what? Wait, there's this big, epic, wonderful movie, and why they don't, well, that's what the offer is. Okay. Then there's like, they want you to star in this movie, but it's the biggest piece of crap you've ever seen. And, you know, it's going to be on at 3 in the morning in Skinamax. But they'll pay you pretty well, you know. And then you've got like another option, which is like, okay, this one is going to be a really, really good script, and it's a really good cast, but they can't afford to pay you anything at all. It's peanuts. But you're the star of it, but they don't have any money for you. You know, so you'll get all these different various options, and basically it's our job to figure out, you know, A, got to pay the bills, right? So you got to take care of the financial end, but you also got to take care of the creative end. And sometimes, you know, you may want to take a movie because of just what that character opportunity is, but not because it's the most rewarding financially, or not because it's the most rewarding from a plot, you know, sense, or the script, or even what the subtext or the context of the script is. So, that said, you know, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made when it goes into plotting what your next move of your career is going to be. Very fortunately, I somehow managed to, you know, sometimes make the right choices, considering I've had 18 #1 films in the box office. I'm about to release my 6th album. I've done 4 tours of the United States. I've done about 5 TV series. I think I've run the gamut, and I have a best-selling book. Like, life is good right now, right? I'm not complaining.
Well, there's one thing that you didn't mention,
Shoot.
and I'm going to bring it up.
Of course.
So, there was the matter of the 1-900 chat number for the 2 Corys in the 80s. What was the story behind that? And was there actually any involvement on your part, or was that just other people
No,
taking it?
it was a nice paycheck, I'll tell you. Basically, the way that worked was they go, okay, look, we've got this idea, this, you know, I mean, we were, again, pioneers, right? Pioneers. I mean, a lot of the stuff I look back on and I'm like, wow, we really actually, like, invented that. Like, we did that before us. That's pretty cool. But we were actually the first celebrities to ever have a 1-900 number. And what that was basically an automated recording thing where we would go in and we would record for like 3 hours, and we would like tell little stories, and we'd give little tidbits of advice, and kind of tell something personal about ourselves. And then we would also kind of do a bunch of like pre-recorded, like, hi Lisa, hi Sally, hi Anna, hi Mike, hey buddy, what's up Bill, how are you? You know, you just kind of record all these over and over and over and over. So that way they were ready to go, so they would get the fan mail, and they, you know, get a request like, oh, Bill wants you to go. Okay, he said, take 104, EQ, and go. You know, and that was basically it. So we did a lot of the pre-recording, and then we did in fact actually get messages specific to certain people. So certain people would call up and say, hey, I really want them to say this. So it was actually a pretty cool thing for the technology that was available at the time. That said, you know, nobody made like millions of dollars off it or anything, but it was very, I'm sure actually the company that created it probably did, but we were hired as usual, you know, but it was a cool thing. I mean, it was a bit gimmicky, but again, because there was nothing else like it before it, you know, it was innovative, and we were pioneers, so hey, what can you do?
And it was the 80s. I mean, anything was okay, you know?
That's true.
Hi there.
I mean, it wasn't phone sex, you know, I mean, now that would have been interesting. Okay, go ahead. Hi, oh my gosh, wait, were you in that video? Wait, are you the little girl from that Blind Melon video? I can make you that girl, though. If you just give me a black marker, I can do it, I swear. Go ahead.
This is regarding the Goonies. When you were playing Mouth, did you actually speak Spanish, or did you say scripted?
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about. What movie?
In the Goonies,
No, I'm just joking.
Never heard of it.
But you were going to repeat it, weren't you? Were you going to tell me the plot and everything, what it was about, who's in it?
you're talking about Lolita.
Yeah, no, I actually did have to learn each of those lines for the role, and be taught the translation and what it meant and the enunciation. And it's a lot to handle at 12 years old. It's a lot to handle.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
Hello.
Weren't you the girl in the blind melon? No. I had that answer ready for everybody here today, and she just got lucky to be the one that it worked for. So, anyway, go ahead, sorry.
My question was, were there any movies or TV shows you regret turning down?
Regret turning down?
Yep, sure do. Yeah, the biggest one I think for me always was Born on the 4th of July. You ever see that movie? Little movie. What a few of those things are called Oscars. Who needs those in the old cabinet? Yeah, I was at the time. I had like The Burbs out, and it was in the theaters. And Dream a Little Dream had just been in the theaters. And I think I was getting ready to do something else, maybe Exile for Disney. And I was like, I got this, call that Oliver Stone, who was a relatively new director, was doing a movie that was going to be starring Tom Cruise, who was very much my peer at the time. He was kind of, a new teenage young adult kid. And I'd seen Risky Business, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. And they were like, well, so it's like, you'd be playing like a co-starring role, and you'd be playing his brother. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've got like 3 #1 movies out right now, and it's like, they're my movies, so wait, you want me to be like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th fiddle to a kid that's just up and coming, nobody really even knows yet? Didn't make sense to me. And who's this Oliver Stone guy? Like, what? Yeah. So a few Academy Awards later, who's counting? But yeah, I think I probably should have done that one. Vanity, folks, vanity. It is truly a sin.
Good, honest answer, though, and good question. Thank you.
Hi, I wanted
But
to
you're
know-
also a wizard, I want to point out, right? Yes.
Yes, I'm in the
She's Illuminati, it says there on her shirts. That's no good. That's no good. We're not
That's how
talking
powerful
about
they're getting. They're just putting out
I
the
guess,
t-shirts
yeah.
now. They don't even care who knows.
It's the Wizard World thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I knew there was something more to this, the way they're taking over the world.
Just watch out for anyone doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Who's your favorite superhero?
So when I dress up in the closet and I put on the, does that count or? No?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Oh
Yes.
well.
Which one?
It's called Mr. BB. No, just anyway, I would say Batman, generic answer, but yeah, Batman. I've always been a Batman kind of guy.
Whatever the question is.
I like
Batman,
that
you're
damn
really
bat signal, and the bat car, and the bat bike, and the bat plane, and the bat copter, and the bat boat. I mean, he's got all the toys. No other superhero has got it covered like he does. He is the bomb diggity monster.
And he is a butler.
And he has a butler. And he's rich. And
Yeah.
he's rich.
Yeah.
Gotta like that guy.
Yeah.
And he donates to charity. Yeah, good guy. Good guy. Have you ever met Bruce? Go way back.
Bruce, good guy.
Yeah, good guy.
Hey there.
Okay, my buddy Brent, he's not here, but he wanted to ask, what's your inspiration behind Ascension of
You mean the video or the song?
both?
Oh, okay. Well, it's actually a fun story because, so when I typically write songs, for the most part, I usually start off with either a melody or a concept where I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this concept, I want to write a little story about it, and then I kind of come up with a melody. Or I start humming a melody in my head, and then I start writing a story to that melody. But with this one, this whole album actually that I'm just finishing tidying up now, it started off because I actually created my first home studio. So after, doing 4 albums, I was like, I really need a studio in my house because I know I can get a lot more production done if I actually had it sitting there. But I'm not a great instrumentalist. I'm not a great musician. I'm a good songwriter, I'm a good producer, but I'm not a great, I can't say like, oh, I'm a guitarist, man, or like, I'm a drummer, or I'm a bass. I'm not any of those things. But I can noodle around. So when you have your own studio, you can actually like play little bits and then kind of cut it together and make it sound like you're really awesome. So, my whole thing was if I could just have the equipment and the availability to be able to do it, then I'm sure I could do pretty good. So, my friend was over. Did anybody see the Two Corys TV show?
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys remember this really weird, on season 2, this really weird, creepy guy who became my assistant? His name was Jake. You guys remember that? Okay, so he was over one night. This was like, 2 years ago. And I was doing a little guitar solo for one of the tracks that I'd been working on. And he was making fun of me. He's like videotaping. He's like, "Oh, dude, this is so cool. I can't believe I'm actually watching Corey Feldman do his first guitar solo." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you think that's cool? Well, watch this." And I was like, "You want to see how a song gets written from scratch?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." So it was like a dare. Like we were just messing around. And so I started like putting down the parts. So I was like, I told my engineer, give me a drum sound. He says, "Okay." So he gives me a drum sound. I put down the drum beat. And I was like, "Now switch it to a bass." Okay, so I put down the bass line. Okay, now keyboards. Okay, so I put down the keyboard. And literally in an hour and a half, I put down that entire song. It's all me. Every single instrument you hear, it's all me. So at the end of the hour and a half, he was like, "Oh, you really did that." And I was like, "Yeah, I really did. Wow, that's pretty cool." So we were both tripping on it. But went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, and I just kept hearing like the da-dun, dun, da-da-da-da. Like I just kept hearing that over, and I was like, "Okay, now what is that? What is it gonna be?" And so I was just really looking for like fun words that really fit that melody structure. Ascension, millennium. Well, we're talking about the ascension. A lot of people are talking about spirituality and trying to raise ourselves to a higher level of awareness and consciousness and being better people. So that's ascension, right? And then millennium, well, it's a new millennium, and everybody was talking about that at the time because it was right before remember the big 2012 thing? When everybody thought the world was going to end, it was like 12, 12, 12, we're done. It's doomsday all over again.
A Mayan apocalypse.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, nothing happened. But, but in my mind, I think it was like, 12, 11 when I wrote Ascension Millennium. I'm like, "It's it, man! I gotta write this fast and we're done!" So I wrote the song based on that, and there it went. It was very quick. And then with the video, I'd never done a video before. After, 4 albums, and now working on my 5th album, I've never done a music video because the truth movement stuff obviously is, it's a little bit out there. It's not your top 40 pop kind of stuff. And then with my solo work, I just don't think there was ever a song that was worth promoting that heavily. It was more just kind of, it's good music, but it's not top 40. It's not Clear Channel kind of stuff. But with this one, I felt, this one really actually should be on MTV, and I think it really does deserve a video. And I woke up one morning, this is a true story. Have you guys seen the video, Ascension Millennium? Okay, all right, so it's worth telling. So I wake up in the morning, and my girlfriend opens the blinds, just like in the video, and I'm staring at her, and then I'm thinking about my crazy life, and I'm like, you know what? People probably would never believe that this is really my life, because I'm very grateful for my life. I feel very blessed. I have a beautiful life, I have a beautiful son, I work very hard, but I also have like a lot of crazy stuff. Like we throw these Corey's Angels parties where like I have a bunch of strangers in my house, or maybe we'll be shooting a music video in my house, or maybe we'll be doing a recording session, or maybe that night I'll go play at a stadium. All these things really do happen in a 24-hour period. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could somehow create a video where we could capture 24 hours of my life consistently without ever having to cut or edit it in any way? Really kind of summarize everything in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And so that's what we did. We combined those two ideas, a new song, something interesting, do it on the spot, video, boom, ba, ba, and we actually did it all in-house just like that. So it was all very organic. There you go. Sorry for the long answer.
Thank you. It was good. Hi there.
Hi. I'm a really big fan, and
Thank you.
that being said, was it a conscious decision to separate yourself from the Donnie character in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
From Madonna? I never played Madonna.
Donnie.
Oh, Donnie. Separate myself from, no, me and that turtle are one, man. We're one. Like, I ride under his shell all the time. It's like he's my uncle or something. What do you mean by that? Or did I separate myself from a turtle? I'm so confused.
The newest movie, not having your voice, not having the presence of Corey Feldman.
Oh, you mean, I see, as a character, Yeah, it was, I don't think that was one of my biggest departures, really, but I think that I wanted to do something that was reminiscent, because they were looking for, they wanted to create, nobody nobody had ever really had Eternal on film. They didn't know what that was going to be or what it was going to look like. So I'm pretty sure I was the first voice they laid down because they came to me in the beginning, and when I saw the movie, it was really junky. I mean, to be honest, it was like, kind of crappy. It was like second generation, and it was like, lots of scratches and things throughout the screen, when they were showing me because it was on bad stock, film stock. And like, it was just, special effects were really cheesy. They had to do a lot more CGI and all this stuff to it. So I saw a very raw, early copy of the film. And to be honest, I was like, oh man, this is a big piece of crap. But the kids will love it. The kids will love it. Because they don't know, right? So I figured it was nice and it was cheap and it was good for the kids. So, is that terrible? So anyway, but I did it for the kids. I really did. They didn't pay me anything, I can tell you that much. I mean, I basically did it for free. But I sat there and I watched it. I thought this would be something that kids will really appreciate. They'll really love it. One day this could be big, And so I wanted to bring the character to life. And for me, that meant, they wanted to make sure, I was like, what age are they supposed to be? Like, oh, well, they're supposed to be like teenage, because they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And,
It's all right there.
Oh,
Title, yeah.
God, I get it now, I get it. So yeah, so I had to make them like young and fun and kind of punky. And I was kind of all that anyway. I mean, I was 18 when I did, the voiceover, right? So I just kind of brought that part of myself, but then I also wanted to make him a little more character-y. So I kind of envisioned like Pee Wee Herman as a surfer. And I think that's what
Thank you very much.
you imagine like Pee Wee with a board? Dude, let's bomb. That's so dope.
I can see that.
I knew you were blowing mine.
Hey there.
I was wondering, I know you have great taste in music.
Oh, sorry.
That too, but music, was it your idea to have the Purple Rain t-shirt and Unions?
No, absolutely not. Actually, I really do like
You
Purple
like
Rain.
records?
No, I mean, the movie's terrible, but, I mean, just because he can't act. But the music is brilliant, and definitely Prince's highest shining moment. The awkward part of that thing was that I become friends with Michael Jackson on the set of The Goonies, right? So, like, one day it hits me. I didn't even think about it. Well, like, we're walking back from lunch one day, and we're just talking, and like, chit-chatting or whatever, and I look down at my shirt, and I'm like, oh! Felt like I was naked all of a sudden. I was like, oh, yeah. Hi, Mike, sorry. I just realized I have your arch enemy on my shirt. Promoting him really well because his movie is a Warner Brothers movie, so Purple Rain was under Warner Brothers Records, so it all made perfect sense. He wasn't too thrilled, but no. Actually, you know what? He was a very good sport about it. He would giggle and he thought it was really funny. So as long as he wasn't too upset about it, I wasn't too upset about it.
Good question. All right, we have only like 2 minutes left, but I want to get through these 2 questions. Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Look at
Wow,
that
you
little
got that
kid.
mic, no problem. That's
Got it.
like
She's
a
on
boss.
it.
Yeah.
She's a pro. How many of these have you done? Tell us. You would have never known.
Yeah,
you would have
you-
never known. You did that so professionally. Good job.
You're
What's your
like an
name?
expert.
My name's Aaliyah.
Hi, Aaliyah. Are you a princess, Aaliyah?
I guess.
I guess too.
You know she's now going to ask like a super tough question.
Go for it. All right, lay it on me. Come on, Aaliyah. What you got?
What's your favorite color?
That's a good one. That
This is
is
gonna take all day to figure out. I'm gonna go with black. You know why? Because it's like all over this tablecloth, my t-shirt, the gloves, his
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. No, I like black because, and thank you for asking why. I like black because it is a multitude of colors. And the way I actually, the very interesting little point, tidbit, is that I made a fashion statement when I was just a few years older than you, about 14 years old, I think from 14 to 15, where I swore to only wear the color black every day. I would wear nothing else but black. So when everybody asked me, like, why are you doing this crazy thing? Is it because you're like a rebel or you're like a mean guy or you're a tough guy? I was like, no, I'm not about that. I'm peace and love. But I like black because it represents all colors together. And everybody says, no, white represents all colors together, man. If you look at a spectrum, you'll see that, in fact, white is the prism. And I'm like, no, because if you have crayons, and you take every crayon, and you mix it together, what happens? Thank you. And racism!
Yeah. And what is your favorite color? Just so we have it for the record.
Blue.
Blue.
See, now look, if you and I go hang out, we're black and blue. What's up? What's up?
There's also a solid color.
Thank you, Aaliyah. You're a cutie pie.
Thank you. And because you graciously allowed her to step up and ask that question, we're going to make certain that you get yours as well.
John Wayne gets to come up to you.
I'm the girl from the Blind Melon video.
What did he say?
He said, I'm the girl from the Blind Melon video.
Oh! Nice! Well done.
Nice. Good callback, sir. You, yes.
With the John Wayne mask. All right. Go ahead.
Mark. What advice would you give to a child who's just starting out in acting? Not music.
I would say get the hell out now! That's my advice, I'm not joking.
Yeah. On that note, Tulsa, thank you so much.
Get the hell out now!
Corey Feldman.
Love you all!